Is Vaazha 2 worth the hype? How different is it from Vaazha? Is it better than the first part? And most importantly, is it worth watching? All this and more in my review of the latest Malayalam release, Vaazha 2. It's a sequel to the 2024 blockbuster Vaazha, which was a huge trendsetter due to the nostalgic element that it had in the film. I mean, if you're a 90s kid who studied in Kerala, you would have related to most of what you saw in Vaazha. That was the USP of that film, and that's what drove it towards becoming a big success. That same template is followed in Vaazha too. In fact, one of the characters in Vaazha, Hashir, who played a small bit in that film, is the main protagonist of this film. The story tells his tale, his world, his friendships, their respective families, their bondings, the ups and downs that they face, and the coming of age story of these four young men. Much like Vara, it's a complete package of humor, feel good moments, and a lot of strong emotional sequences. The father son bonding was the key element in Vara, and in Vara too, the same thing has been retained with some really strong subplots in the film. Hashir is the heartbeat of Vara too, and for me, the best performer in the film. He's a delight to watch, and even after you've finished watching the film, his character kind of stays with you much longer than most of the others. If you ask me, is Vara 2 better than Vara 1? Not really. But that doesn't make Vara 2 a bad film. Now, ideally, Vara 2 could have been as good as the first part if the length had actually been managed well. The film is at least 30 minutes longer than Vara, and that length actually tells, especially in certain portions in the second half. Now, writer Vipin Das, who wrote the first part as well, has taken a conscious decision. I don't know if it is intentional or not, but it has been the movie has a very preachy tone when it comes to the mentioning of drugs and how drugs mislead youth. Now, this is a very serious topic and a very relevant topic in today's era and today's society. But Vara 2 doesn't quite tackle it that subtly. It's quite preachy and in your face, and there's a very lengthy episode that kind of tells you about drugs, and it kind of feels tiring beyond a point because it's more like a moral science class, which is not quite what you expect in a film. Even though I agree with the seriousness of the storyline and the seriousness of the theme, a terrific cameo by director Alphonse Putran kind of salvages that episode, although it could have been shorter. However, there are a lot of fun bits in the first half, which is almost as good as the first half of Vara. In the second half, things do get a bit more lengthier, and there are a lot more, I would say, a lot more depth in certain portions, but the runtime also suffers as a result of it. The performances, though, are all very solid and keep you really glued. There are a lot of heartwarming moments, and certain sequences actually almost wet your eyes. The strength of Vara, too, much like Vara, is the last half an hour where things really go towards an emotional peak and kind of make you feel very good at the end of the film. You're not going to go wrong. It's a story that's been told several times, but as I said earlier, Vara was about the nostalgia of 90s kids. And if you're a 90s kid watching Vara 2 again, especially if you're a kid who studied in Kerala, you would relate to a lot of it, much like you related to Vara. The film might not be as good as the first part, but it's still a very solid film that captures your imagination. And I would say it's definitely worth a watch in this vacation season. So, what are you waiting for? Go for it.